Story 1. I recently found technology connections, and it's great if you love very long and detailed explanations about how and why various electronics work. Story 2. The proper people for their showcasing of abandoned and decaying locations all around the world. It's fascinating to see what is left behind in some places. Also, it can be strangely sad to see places that have so much that could still be used, or even just the space itself going unused. Story 3. Lazy Game Reviews, formerly Lazy Game Reviews, offers tons of retro and unusual tech content. Very well produced. Currently on hiatus after the hurricane, but there is a huge back catalog of content to watch. Story 4. The dude's incredibly dry and sarcastic criticism of American urban planning is a much-needed weekly break from the usual nonsense. Highly recommended for anyone wondering how to make our cities better. Story 5. Those restoration channels where they take rusty junk and make it look factory new. It's like therapy but with power tools. Also, grandmothers who cook without measuring anything. Just add a pinch of love while telling life stories. Pure comfort content. Story 6. As an older person who has never watched a YouTube content creator, this thread would be very valuable if you could give a very short explanation of what the channel is about or why you like it. I might want to find a place to start with YouTube channels. Edit. A specific person that provides content for YouTube, not YouTube in general. Story 7. Very surprised that no one has said dead meat. For someone who isn't a huge fan of horror films, his videos are excellent and really clue me in on the behind the scenes and how it's made, along with brilliant commentary on both the story and his own personal thoughts. Not afraid to cover stinkers either. Outside of that, many a true nerd, Elvis the Alien, and Huts, I would say. Story 8. Kurzgesagt, in a nutshell. I love watching these YouTube videos whenever I have any spare time. They are so fascinating and well made, and I have learned so much more since discovering this YouTube channel. Story 9. Townsend's Anything Hank Green Does, PBSians, and Weird History. They all make me feel cozy and warm inside. Especially Townsend's, he's an 18th century Mr. Rogers, and I love him. Story 10. I've been watching tons of 60 Minutes. I feel like I'm a million years old for enjoying the show, but that program is some of the most interesting and informative stuff I've ever seen. I grew up watching PewDiePie play Happy Wheels. I was there when YouTube came out, and I was the prime age to enjoy YouTuber content before everything became so hyper-monetized. It was incredible. 60 Minutes beats them all for me lately. Story 11. Gaming Call Me Kevin, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier. Commentary Danny Gonzalez, Drew Gooden, Curtis Connor, Izaz's, D'Angelo Wallace, Premiink, Uncarly, Film Cooper, Wendigoon. True Crime, Eleanor Neal, Coffeehouse Crime. Also mentioning Wicked Wiz, known for video essays on games and company failures, and Urban Rescue Ranch, a very funny and wholesome animal shelter channel. Story 12. Papa Meat. Hunter provides cool lessons and insights into spooky events in history. He also talks about fast food restaurants, fetishes, lawsuits, dangerous coasters, and more. Just the weird and interesting side of the world. My favorite videos are his frozen pizza ranking, the history of the play place, and his Disney video about Disney bounding. Shout out to Hunter and Nick for being informative and silly. Story 13. Japanese guy who builds stuff in the woods with sticks and mud. I can barely make toast, but here I am watching him create an underground mansion with a coconut shell. Also, cat fail compilations because sometimes you just need to watch a furball fight its own reflection. Story 14. Electro Boom. A hilarious person creating fun and educational electronic projects. Nexpo. Unresolved mysteries, lost media, and dark stories from the internet, presented in an engaging way. Cactus Malpractice, a music creator and reviewer, also hosts a great show called The Worst Album Ever Made, where he explores what might be the worst album ever. Gabriel Iglesias, also known as Fluffy, probably my favorite comedian of all time. Ashens, a British individual reviewing cheap items on a brown sofa. Dankpods and all his related channels. A drummer, car enthusiast, and iPod/music rig reviewer. Ave, the funniest handyman ever, who can make a 45-minute video about a hair dryer highly entertaining. Coincident and Decino players and enthusiasts of Doom, the greatest classic shooter ever. Story 15. GeoWizard hands down. He's exceptional at GeoGuessr, so you get to watch him play that, and he also goes on missions and adventures. He'll cross a country in a straight line, cross a city without using roads, leave his place with only $10 and see how far he can go. Very interesting, wholesome, and fun to watch. Story 16. I think they're such a funny group of people. It's also refreshing to watch YouTubers who don't stage everything or do dangerous challenges with huge budgets and $1,000 prizes. Just normal people having fun. Story 17. Urban Rescue Ranch, Astrum, John Michael Godier, Roots and Refuge, Adam Ragusia, Chubby Emu, or Dr. Mike. Basically anything wildlife, farming, space, or medicine. Story 18. Veritasium. Animal Logic. Zay Frank. Smarter Every Day. Be Smart. Steve Mold. Nile Red. Renaissance Periodization. Jeff Nippard. Institute of Human Anatomy. Josh Johnson. Future Canoe. More Perfect Union. Business Insider. Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan. Taskmaster. Some dude that posts comedy British panel shows like 8 out of 10 cats does countdown. Would I lie to you? QI. Story 19. Indiemoz, Mandalore Gaming, Iron Pineapple, Future Canoe, Command Lives, Cold Ones, Tangamushi, Eurothug 4000, Nakey Jakey, Totally Pointless TV, Elvis the Alien, Mind Pulp, Ian Fujimoto, Tasting History with Max Miller, Josh Strife Hayes, General Sam Wang, Seth Tech, Bisley Channel, Imfa, Modest Pelican. Story 20. Law and Crime Network, Any Court TV Channel, Criminal Lawyer Reacts with Bruce Rivers, Explore with Us, Best Ever Food Review Show, and right now following Hidden True Crime closely for Delphi trial updates. Story 21. I recently started trying to improve my cooking game, and I know I'm quite late to this, but because of that, I discovered Babish and really like the mix of ridiculous and informative content. Particularly the All the Ways You're Screwing Up X series. Also, Gatorade wine is actually pretty good. Story 22. MatPat, hands down. He might just be one of the best YouTubers in the history of the platform. Highly respected. Huge influence. No controversy. Funny and educational. But that's just a theory. Story 23. Depends on my mood at the time. Why Files. Joe Scott. Penguins 0. Recently started Camp Gagnon and I'm enjoying it. Dead Meat. Freshie Canal or Epic Rap Battles. Also too in my native language of Urdu. Ian Podcast. Furkan Qureshi Blogs. Story 24. Favorite YouTubers? I just watch channels that feel like a slow descent into madness. People documenting their breakdowns, spiraling deep dives, and bizarre conspiracy theories. Sometimes it's nice to know there's someone else out there who's even more lost than I am. Story 25. Comics Explained. Pitch Meeting. Dr. Jordan Breeding. Justin Wong. The Y-Files. Story 26. Trying to give some attention to some channels I enjoy that I haven't seen listed. Any of the real-time series. I've watched all World War I, World War II, and now the Korean War. Ryan Macbeth has shown me a lot about disinformation and online narrative manipulation. Plus, I find him funny. Weird Food History is interesting. History Guy. CGP Grey puts out a video every 2 years or so. Mark Felton Productions. Edison Motors, makers of the first diesel-electric hybrid heavy platform trucks. Operations Room. House of History. Story 27. Jolly. Josh and Ollie. 2 British people tasting mostly American foods. It's hilarious. Story 28. Alexandria Ryan for almost 8 years now. I started watching in college. She is so authentic and nice. I watch every single video. Charlotte Dobe because she is funny, and I like her personality. She is just herself and does not take herself too seriously. I watch Drew Talbert because he is fantastic at role-playing restaurant dynamics and characters. That man can rock every wig, and the chemistry with himself is just amazing. Story 29. Speedruns. Tomato Anus. Summoning Salt. Bismuth. Lunatic J. Assists. Bomber Guy. Yanimikilsum. Level 1 Rock. Criminally undersubscribed. Defunct Land. documentaries usually focused on Disney theme parks, AdF, math applied to video games, criminally undersubscribed. Any Austin, unique and surprisingly interesting takes on video game worlds, criminally undersubscribed. Justin can't swim, police interrogations. Warning. You will get sucked down the rabbit hole. Blooms, Gabby Bell, Joseph Anderson, many kudos, ordinary things. Martin Sidipins, though his newer stuff has lost its oomph, but the older stuff is great. CGP Grey, Captain Disillusion, Second Wind, formerly the Escapist Crew / Yahtzee Crenshaw, Boy, Dr. Skipper, Eddie Burback and the channel with his brother, Burback, Ted Nivison, Nakey Jakey, Up Is Not Jump, Shawnee Do, Papa Meat, though his chosen topics give me the ick, so gotta be in a certain mood. Let's Play, Game Grumps, Russian Badger, TKS Mantis, somewhere between essays and Let's Plays, Ludwig, Engineers, Michael Reeves, Stuff Made Here, I Did a Thing, Mark Rober, Music, Drumio, Adam Neely, Nerd Culture / Reviews, Red Letter Media, Your Movie Sucks, Mr. Sunday Movies, News / Politics, Some More News, Philippe DeFranco, Hassan Abi. Don't think he always makes the best arguments, but entertaining. Story 30, Dead Domain, The Sphere Hunter, Grief, Shrouded Hand, Pancakes, Hannah the Horrible, Lee Speaks, Is. There are more, but these are my top ones I watch. Story 31, Good Mythical Morning, Best Ever Food Review Show, and Strictly Dumpling. Rhett and Link, Sunny, and Mikey have been my go-tos for a very long time. Story 32. I only watch Moist Critical for my daily commentary needs, Skill Up for my game reviews, and I've been on a massive Pokemon kick for some reason, so I watch Wolfie VGC. Story 33. I have a Bobby Broccoli problem. I've watched his super simple cooking videos at least 30 times, and his new series on cold fusion was also fantastic. It made me get Nebula because I had to know how it ended. Story 34. John Wolfe, John Tulf, Ambiguous Amphibian, Martial Mind, Good Mythical Morning, Manly Badass Hero, Call Me Kevin. I'm guessing there's more, but I'm too lazy at this one moment in time to go have a look. Story 35. Lemino, Melody Sheep, Nile Red Chemistry, Veritasium General Science, Primitive Technology, Real Engineering, Stuff Made Here Engineering, Sebastian Legge, Game Development / Computer Science, 3 Blue 1 Brown Meth, Kurz gesagt, in a nutshell, Engineer Guy Engineering, Applied Science Experiments, Periodic Videos, Chemistry, Journey to the Microcosmos Microbiology Microscopy, Deep Look Biology, Crime Pays But Botany Doesn't Botany, Deep Sky Videos Space, Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, Mark Rebillet Music, Sinchuan Lin Ceramics, Story 36, The Mados Touch and Legal AF for, legal stuff. I do cars for my Auto Carnage or Malice in the Combustion Palace, and the Late Break Show and Mighty Car Mods, Cutting Edge Engineering and so on. I have a few which gives me more to choose from. Story 37. I really like Adam Harrington from Learn Your Land and Tony from Crime Pays But Botany Doesn't. Of course, our Man in the Woods Primitive Technology. Out of that spectrum, I've been enjoying Answer in Progress recently. They have fun videos. And Struthless, Story 38. I enjoy car content, so Auto Alex, The Detail Collective, and All the Gear. Also, Harry's Garage and anything Chris Harris does. Critical Drinker and Modest Pelican for films and gaming laughs. Special shout out to Memulus, Pitch Meeting, and Mind Pulp. Story 39, Y-Files. The blend of comedy and drama on fringe topics is enjoyable. I also like the fact that if a conspiracy is nonsense, he will tell you it's nonsense. I like Ancient Architects too. They go over all the ancient megastructures. The other channels I'm watching are just Star Wars updates like Star Wars Meg and Star Wars Theory. I also watch random channels on van camper conversion and off-grid homestead setups. Story 40. Very hard to say because I have favorite YouTubers for each category, but I'll just say a few. For gaming, I'll watch Hollow, For history, politics, something I want to learn, and so on, I'll watch Thoughty 2, Useful Charts, Good Enough, Crash Course, Casually Explained, and Serious History. Story 41. Vice Grip Garage has been a binge of mine as of late. If you enjoy all things American muscle and really just anything old-school motor, Derek is a fun and very educational guy. His Will It Run and Drive videos are my favorite and honestly make me feel like I could go find an old car and get it to run with how much he teaches. Story 42. Tasting History with Max Miller, Steve 1989 MRE Info, Hungry Lights/Hungry Covers, Fascinating Horror, Trixie Mattel, Planned. All over the place with these. Laughter. Story 43, Future Canoe. Sterniolo Triplets. I know I'm 40, but they're hilarious. Nile Red and Nile Blue. Goga Foods/Sous Vide Everything. French Cooking Academy. Game Grumps. PewDiePie. Ethan Nestor. Story 44. Brad Leone. Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. Maddie Matheson and Adam Ragusia are the food channels. Bald and Bankrupt and Kurt Kaz for Unusual Travel. I've just gotten into the best of amateurs. Dorking Wanderers Brilliant. Edit. CAD/CAM tutorials. Takes about 5 minutes to tune your brain into the accent, but this Indian guy has taught me so much. Story 45. Skeeter Jean is the absolute best amateur predator catcher. There are a lot on YouTube and most are silly and unprofessional. Skeeter is the perfect mix while being the closest to actual Chris Hansen. Love his videos. Story 46. I enjoy watching Dan Mull's box office charts videos. I think they are very interesting and informative. Corridor Crew is another great YouTube channel. Their computer-generated imagery challenge videos are so entertaining, and their breakdown of visual effects in film is fascinating. Story 47. Kyle Royer. Master bladesmith and forger. Makes some amazing things, explains his process along the way, and is enthusiastic enough about his craft to keep things interesting. Story 48. Linus Tech Tips, Technology Connections, Electroboom, Brick Experiment Channel, Virtual TV. I spend too much time on YouTube, so the list goes on and into every genre. Story 49. Flea-Bitten Adventures. He does a mix of flea market and mall walkthroughs in New England, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. It's interesting to watch what was such a huge part of my childhood die. John Michael Godier talks about space from a very realistic view of current understanding. His voice is very calming, truly criminal, true crime, and very respectful towards the victim. They always focus more on the victim and talk about who they were. Story 50. Exo Macena, Wendigoon, Smosh, I know, don't knock it until you watch their newer stuff. Trixie and Katia, Hannah Alonso, Jay Aubrey, and Nick Crowley, to name a few.